All right, everybody. Welcome to Uncle Bronson's podcast. I'm so excited because we have the creators of Movi Hats here with us today. Trevor and JR, thanks so much for coming on with me today, guys. Really appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, man. I'm so excited because I personally have been really excited to hear the story behind this. And well, maybe before we get there, maybe just tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and maybe your favorite hobbies outside of making awesome hats.
Absolutely, yeah, that's a good place to start. Jared, I'll jump, and then you can follow. So here out of Utah, born and raised. I've lived a little bit all over the country, on the East Coast, West Coast. Lived in the Midwest for a number of years as well. Obviously, growing up in Utah, we have the Wasatch Mountain Range in our backyard, and so I've always just kind of fallen in love with escaping to the mountains anytime I have an opportunity. The older I get, it's a little bit harder to find that time, as family's gotten bigger and whatnot, but still there's just that drive, just to escape, to get those natural highs. I honestly just feel a peace up there. So
yeah,
regardless of the season, we're here in the middle of the winter. It's dumping snow. It is cold. I did actually get out on an 8-mile run today, and my face is a little bit red.
Oh, you went out there today. Hey,
I did.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, you probably can't see, but I've got a little bit of wind chill still. I did take a quick shower before this call, but anyway, yeah, I mean, that's a little bit about me. I mean, I guess one other thing that will tie into the component of the Movi hat is I'm a big marathoner. I've done a good handful of ultra marathons. So anything over 26.2 miles is considered something, in the ultra space. So I'm not, I don't have the abilities that you have, Bronson, doing what you do in the NFL, but
hey, running makes everyone, and running makes everybody will cower at some point from that. So no matter what sport you play. So that's crazy. That's a long ways.
Yeah. So that's a little bit about me. Jared, I'll let you run point here.
Yeah, no, thanks for having us, Bronson. I think what Trevor said kind of mirrors my hobbies and what I love to do too. Trevor and I have known each other since junior high, and so we're really good buddies. We've spent a lot of time out in the outdoors together, camping. We know each other about as good as anybody could. We're like brothers, and so this has been a really fun project for us to do together. And it's as we get into it, Trevor will kind of explain how it got started. It was all his initial creation, but yeah, we love the outdoors. We love to be active, as the brand kind of states. Movi, is to get out and move, and so that's kind of been our passion. But aside from that, we're business guys. We work and have to pay the bills too. So I've done a lot in business administration and operations and marketing over the years, and so that's kind of my role with Movi. And Trevor's big on the creative side and the sales side. So it's been a good mesh. And we should mention we've got another partner that is our tech packet designer, or our tech designer, and she does all of the designs, puts them to life, and gets it all ready for us. And so she's a huge integral part of our team too. I want to give her a shout out.
Yep.
Oh man. Well, we miss her, but we cannot wait to hear about this story. I'm so excited, honestly, to hear about how you guys came up with Movi Hats. I mean, I feel like when best friends come together and they have a passion about something, good things always come out of it. So maybe you can just tell us, Trevor, like about how it all started, like where it all came from. Just kind of take us through that story, if that's all right.
Yeah, it's a pretty quick story, but it did incorporate another one of my my good friends, who's one of my marathon my buddies. It's always hard to find somebody that you have a similar cadence, a similar pace with, similar just old, basically ultimate lap and marathon time. And I have a really good friend of mine that I ran with for years and years, and we were training for St. George, and we were at the top of AF Canyon, American Fork Canyon here in Utah, beautiful canyon, right near the summit. running down towards, the Highland Alpine area. And we were maybe a quarter into the run, so just a couple of miles. And my buddy's he sweats profusely, and that's great. I don't tend to sweat too much. I wish I did. Something's probably wrong with me. But I look over at him, and his name's Taylor, and I was like, Taylor, I was like, dude, your face is just dripping, man. And he had this old junky hat on, and I was familiar with the hat. And, I've always been a hat guy, and I can get into that a little bit as well. But I look at him, I'm like, dude, you've got to chuck that hat. It's just disgusting.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I sweat so much that, I don't want to ruin any more hats. So this is the hat that I use. And I was like, okay, I get it. And I'm running down the mountain, and I'm just like, there's got to be a better product out there I'm going to buy Taylor this hat. I'm going to, so I started doing some research, and this was back in like I think that was 2013 or 2014. It was actually, I think 2014. And so I start like buying hats and start, wearing them. And, for the most part, I was like what you have on, I would wear something just soft and, a little more supple that wasn't like constricting my head, because I felt like anytime I ran with a particular type of hat, some of them just pressed on the front of my head, and it would just give me a headache. Or if they were too loose, the wind would blow them off, and so I'd have to cinch it down a little bit. And again, I get a little bit of a headache, but that's me personally. And coming into the space, I've realized that a lot of people, have that same frustration, is their body tends to swell up. And, that's why you buy bigger shoes. And if you're wearing gloves, because it's cold, like your hands start to swell up. And anyway, it's the same thing with the head. And so, you're fiddling with your hat. And so ultimately, there was nothing in the market that I felt like that was close to what would fit the bill. One caveat to that is I'm also a big trucker guy. So the trucker hat tends to be a little bit broader, square type hat, where you've got like the baseball caps. And I brought a few down. Actually, I didn't even bring a baseball cap down. Baseball caps tend to be a little bit more crown fitting. Yeah. And from what I've seen in the running space, people tend to represent, their brand via trucker hats. It's just been that way for years. And so I met Allie, who JR mentioned, by one of our mutual friends, and Bronson. She was like the diamond in the rough, because she had worked for OGO and was a consultant for New Balance and a few other products over a long period of time. And she knew how to construct an amazing product, soft goods specifically, create a tech packet. And at that time, I was investigating a lot of different factories, and that's a whole nother story for a whole nother podcast. It's a lot of work, believe it or not, to try to find the right partner in the right factory. And anyway, so I found one. We sent them the tech packet. They didn't work out. We ended up flying out to China, and and Movi was born after ultimately that trip, that 2-week trip to China, and a few different factory visits. So,
wow.
Anyway, that's what we have on our head today. Wow. We cut the panels. So what I mean by panel, every single one of these squares. This isn't anything right out of the factory.
Oh, that's an awesome one. I like the design on that one.
Yeah. This one's coming out.
That's a sneak peek right there.
Oh my gosh, Denver close reference.
Yeah. So we took a lot of time designing exactly the aesthetics, because I'm a big aesthetics person. I want it to look good. I want it to always look good. And that was one thing that Taylor has adopted is, you can wash the hats in the machine. You don't have to just rinse them under the water. Don't dry them in the machine dryer. We've tried that on one particular hat, and it still looks good, but it does start to create some deformities. But for the most part, that's one of the best aspects of the Movi hat. And we've gotten so many unsolicited reviews about people saying, I've never ran in a hat that's this comfortable. And, I think we've done it. I really do think we've created an amazing technical hat that it fits, that space of high athletic, endurance / just sweat absorbing, heat wearing, type product. So,
oh, that's so awesome. Yeah, that's huge. A lot of NFL players you know, when we wear hats when we work out, honestly, we love them. You know,
Yeah.
and it's very true. We sweat. It's crazy because, yeah, the hats, yeah, like the way you're talking about it, I'm like, dang, that would be so nice to wear. Like, yeah, you're right. Like the comfortability, like you want to be comfortable. And so,
Yeah.
but then, you know, you also, a lot of times we're training outside and
Right.
you have your eyes covered and it's nice, you know, and so it's, no, I totally, like when you were talking right there, I was like, oh, I totally get what you're saying. And
Yeah.
anyone who works out outside or, you know, even inside, like us when we lift a lot, I mean, it's just nice to wear a hat. Like,
Yeah.
it really is. So
I think you need to put one on right now, Bronson. That hair's looking a little.
I'm gonna order that new one. That one, yeah,
Yeah.
that was awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
geez, that's so great. Wow. So I guess so you built Movi, and so now, you know, what do you see like what people are really getting attracted to it? What spaces do you want to get into more? Because I feel like it's one of those things where you try it once and it's a wrap. Like that's what it sounds like. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's another fair question, Jared. And if you want to jump in and you can take that, you know, I've got some thoughts behind that as far as like our space.
Yeah.
Maybe talking about mountain, land, sea as far as the logo.
Sure.
I'll let you run with that.
Okay. Yeah. Trevor mentioned our logo, which is the top of it's a peak for mountain. The orangish colors land, and the turquoise color there's sea. So mountain, land, sea. So
that's cool. I didn't know that. I didn't.
Yeah.
Know. That's awesome. Yeah.
Not everybody does. So now you're in the know. But yeah, we didn't just make our hats for runners. That's kind of where it was born. But honestly, we get people from all over the world buying our hat that use it for every activity. If it's if they're out being active, you know, our hat's a great product for them. They love it. The reviews and I mean, we get unsolicited emails coming back to us all the time talking about how much they love this hat. Firefighters has been a big one that's kind of unexpected, that have been emailing us and saying, we love this hat. It's awesome. The fact that we can wash it, we sweat in it, you know, whatever, it gets smoky, right, from some of the work that they're doing. And then people just love the designs too. You know, Trevor's wearing what we call our Movi OG, which is just kind of our original design. But the designs that Trevor's come up with and Allie's brought to life and come up with too, make it a really kind of fashionable hat just to wear out, just to go out to on the town, you know, whatever it is you're out doing. And so we haven't pigeonholed ourselves into just a running hat, but really it's kind of a all around hat that's super comfortable to wear. When I'm wearing my Movi hats, I'll often think to myself, this hat is so comfortable, I don't even know that I'm wearing it. Like I forget I'm wearing it. And but you know, it's been a lot of fun. I came on in February 2021, so just a year ago, to help Trevor kind of build the brand and do some of the marketing. And you know, COVID was a tough time to launch a brand, and we launched a Kickstarter campaign, which we were the #1 selling hat on Kickstarter at the time. Wow. Even through COVID, you know, supply chain and production issues caused that to launch a little late. But in February 2021, I came on, started doing some marketing, and it's just really taken hold and gone gangbusters. And you know, our hardest problem we have now is keeping the hats in stock. They're selling so fast, and kind of the word of mouth thing is going really well for us too. So I don't know if that answered your question, but
yeah, no, that's awesome. I was sitting here as you were talking and I was like, I love fishing and I always wear a hat. I think everyone does, honestly. I was like, man, I could wear a Movi hat when I'm out fishing, and then when it gets wet, it's totally fine. Like,
it doesn't matter. Yeah, and if it falls in the river, it doesn't sink. All of our hats float.
No way! Oh,
yeah.
I've lost some hats before to the river.
Yeah. We think they'll float forever, is what we tell people, but we're still testing. We're still testing that, so we'll find out.
You can't test forever, so you just have to kind of leave it out there.
So far, they haven't sunk one time on us. So that's a good attribute or feature we have too.
Man, that's awesome. Yeah, man, you can wear it boating. I'm like, man. yeah, you could, yeah, any water sport, not just like what your symbol represents, you can wear it. Dang.
Right. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to. Oh, we'll be seeing Bronson Kaufusi orders there very soon.
Awesome.
And yeah, I gotta get my hands on some of those. 'Cause I wear, honestly, I mean, I feel like a lot of athletes, we love hats. Yeah, we love the trucker fit. We, I, I got home from Green Bay and I have, my hats and I have just tons of them. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I love them, right? I love them. I love them. But at the end of the day, you're gonna only wear, I mean, a handful that you really, they're the ones, because they're the everyday hat. And so I just feel like Movi Hats is the everyday, and as well, it does way more than that. So that way, it's gonna be the one that you wear the most. So no, yeah, that's great. Wow. Well, man, I was just thinking when you were talking as well about word of mouth and how you hopped on Connect NIL with college athletes, because college athletes, like they'll talk and they'll love those hats, seriously, because I mean, as athletes, we wear them all the time. So wow, that's awesome. So okay, so man, that's exciting. You're blowing my mind. So what about okay, so I guess what's your, maybe just in closing here, what's your favorite part about Movi, like your Movi hats? Like, what's the one thing where you're just like, this is what I love about it? Like, if there's anything I could tell anyone, this is it about Movi hats. Maybe Trevor, do you want to take that one? And
I think that probably strikes everybody on our little team differently, and I think there's perhaps even a shared component of that. I mean, there's a lot of really cool features in the hat. When I came up with the name, I wanted to be impactful. I mean, I guess just by nature, I'm somebody that tends to wear my emotions, on my cuff, right? And Movi is Latin. It's the conjugated form of the word movere in Latin, which means to move. But the cool thing, if you dig into the word movere, it's not just move physically, but it's also move like emotionally and spiritually, right? So Movi is the past tense of I have been moved, or I have moved physically and or emotionally. So when Allie and I sat down early on, before JR came on and started kicking butt on marketing and developing the representation of the brand, we added this little piece to it. So the concept of doing Movi every day was like just this impact of it. I don't care if it's running. I mean, I've got buddies that at the time were going through school to become medical professionals, and that's their Movi every day, right? It's not a matter of getting out and burning calories. If hell, if you're a chess player, go be the best chess player you can be, right? Movi every day, right? Like that's kind of the concept that we had behind it. Is we wanted to create something where people felt a part of like a community. I know that's a little cliche, but we really have created this unique community. Even now growing outside of Utah, where people do feel like when they've learned, and it's all over our website, but when they learn what Movi represents and they're doing it every day, we hope that their lives are impacted for the better, right? I mean, that's probably my favorite thing about the hat, outside of the fact that one thing that JR did mention, when I put a pitch deck together to initially, consider some funding, which we never did, we bootstrapped everything so far. One major aspect was I wanted it to feel non-existent. So when you put the hat on literally out of the box, I wanted it to feel like in 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 1 minute, 60 seconds, you forgot that the hat was there. And to JR's point, I think a lot of people really do feel like we've created this incredibly comfortable hat that just stays on, wind or no wind, high wind. Like, it's amazing. I mean, I can typically stick 2 fingers in both sides and I'm not having to cinch it down, and it's just this comfortable wearing hat that's never crushing my head. So those are kind of my favorite things about Movi.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, man, you're giving me tingles when you're talking about Movi, because I'm a big believer in that, where every day you have to go and Movi. Like, it's so important because it's just everything's connected. Your physical, mental, emotional. If you go do that, you're just gonna be ahead of the game, and it's just good for your overall being. So No, yeah, that's awesome. Maybe JR, do you want to add yours here at the end, if you don't mind?
Yeah, I honestly, I couldn't have said it better than Trevor did. When you asked that question, the first thing that came to my mind was kind of the brand and the community that we've created. Because for us, at the end of the day, it's not necessarily about the hat or the product itself. The hat is just enables us to create this community of people that get out and move together. And on Instagram, people are sharing with our hashtag Movi every day, with the word every kind of misspelled intentionally there. And so it's fun to see for us, it's fun to see what the people that buy our hats do with them, what activities they go and do in them. And we really have created this community that's really fun to see it grow. And that's probably been my favorite part about being a part of Movi. And aside from the features, which there's many, the community's been my favorite part, and what makes it worthwhile every day, I think.
Wow. No, that's awesome. Well, geez, I just appreciate you guys taking the time to jump on with me and tell me about Movi. And man, that's awesome. I feel like anyone that listens to this is gonna really, really just feel that Movi, I don't know how else to put it, but just feel the Movi. And I love that. So I appreciate you guys jumping on today. Man, can't wait to throw my Movi hat on. So
nice.
Yeah, thanks guys.
Thanks for having us, Bronson. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Have a good one.